So I'm on Redbubble. I'm all excited to buy a coffee mug today. So I'm here on Redbubble and I type in cat coffee mug and it gives me the results for all the mugs. There's different types of mugs. Some are funny, lots of cat designs, but check that out. Oh my, see the one right at the top there? The design is not visible to me in the screen. And if I've only got a half second to like it, that's not good. That's really not good. What's going on here? How come there's different designs here, the way they're placed? How come they're not all the exact same? I'll talk about that in this video. I've got some good news, I've got some bad news, and I've got a couple tips and tricks. Hopefully that'll help you guys. Let's go. Hey there guys, what's going on? I wanted to do a quick video just to talk a little bit about placing designs, and especially in this case, coffee mugs. And so I've got a couple questions from people saying, hey, on Redbubble, it's a bit difficult to have the placement exactly perfect on a coffee mug for display. And so customers are looking and they're seeing just a blank coffee mug. So I wanted to walk through an example. So here I've made up a very quick design just on the fly. Here's a kitty cat and he's got a yellow background. So this is going to be my design that I'm going to work with. So I'm just going to get rid of Photoshop here for a second. And now we're in Redbubble. Okay. And so I'm in the Redbubble store and I'm going along here and I'm updating all my designs. You can see even my sticker looks pretty good. And then I get down to coffee mugs and it's like, all right. So let's see what we got here. So I'm going to open up the coffee mug and I'm going to make sure that my design is, this is a common mistake, by the way, that people make, is they go right to the edge of the coffee mug design. And what'll happen, it's difficult to see. The default view is very hard to see sometimes. And so people make the design too big. So what I would recommend is make sure that you leave some white space at the top and the bottom of the coffee mug. You don't want to have it so that it's too big. And if you're not sure, if you're using a laptop, you can also use the up arrow and the down arrow. So I'm going up arrow, up arrow, up arrow, and see it's moving the product by 1%. So if I go up arrow, it moves it by 1%, and then down arrow. I'm making my keystroke loud here so you can hear it. So that looks good to me. So I'm going to leave it 13, vertical, horizontal. Now it's kind of right there. Now, here's the interesting thing. The default view over here on the right-hand side, notice where the placement is in the coffee mug. If I'm holding my coffee mug in my left hand, the picture is at the end or at the side of the coffee mug. It's not facing me and it's not facing away. Okay, so let me zoom in here on this so you can see this a bit easier. So see this coffee mug over here? This is really tiny when it's not zoomed in. And so here we've got the left hand. Here we've got it sort of facing out, like if you were like punching somebody with the coffee. And then here's holding it in your right hand. So the problem that people run into is they've got a great design, but people generally don't like the coffee mug design right on the end of the coffee mug. They want it so when they're holding it in their right hand, it's facing outward, because most people are right-handed and they like to show off their design. Alternatively, you could have it so that it's facing you if you're holding it. So you could put it on one side or the other. I don't recommend this middle view, okay? So here's what I recommend that you do. There's these two light red guidelines, vertical guidelines. And if you would like the cat to be, so if you're holding the mug in your right hand, move this so that it's centered over the right guideline. Now look at the mug down at the bottom of the screen. See how if you were holding it in your right hand, it's facing you. That might be an option. Most professional mugs, like if you go into a store that sells mugs, would be sitting over here, meaning that if you're holding the mug in your right hand, so imagine this picture here, down on the bottom right, imagine that the person is sitting behind the mug holding it in their right hand. The design is now facing out. So this is not super intuitive because most people just blindly click vertically and horizontally and it sticks the mug image right on the end of the mug. Move it over here to the side and then you can see now it's sitting here. Now I'm going to click this default view. That's the one that I want. And then that's what's going to show up in my Redbubble store. Another thing that people do is they pick this optimized. If you're selling only the coffee mug, then you want to make sure to flip this so you've got mug. So you can flip it up here to say, where's the mug? There it is there underneath mini skirt. So you can click it to say mug is your default product. You don't have to by any stretch. Optimized just means it'll show everything, but I'm going to leave it as mug here in this case. And here's the big problem, my friends, is that Redbubble's main picture is a mug sitting the wrong way. Any marketing professional would have the mug, see on the top left, the mug has this handle on the left-hand side. That means that most right-handed people would hold that and the picture would face out. And again, it's a personal preference. So, I mean, hey, there's different cultures, different countries. I don't want to sound like some big coffee mug snob, but I can say that for me, this is very frustrating because in my opinion, I put the picture on the correct side and yet the mug's not showing in the search results. So it's your personal preference. Just be aware that if you have the mug, in my opinion, set up correctly, where you've moved the logo over to the, the picture over to the one side, the other mug is now sitting here. So that's what will show up in the search results, which is kind of crappy. So what I would suggest is if you're promoting this on Pinterest, you'd want to take a picture of this mug and then have it flow through to the page. And hopefully people don't get wigged out when they see a blank mug. Most people on Redbubble, if they're searching for a coffee mug, you may want to even have either one. You may want to put one on one side, one on the other side, and just see which one sells, right? I mean, it's an idea. Maybe change them slightly, maybe change the color of the cat or something, or the color of the background, or maybe you don't have a background. That's an idea. It is a limitation of Redbubble. It's something I'm not very happy with, but just keep that in mind. You can move the picture either to one side of the mug, the other side of the mug, or the end of the mug, and keep in mind the way the display picture looks. Not the greatest news, but hey, I'm here to deliver the truth, and sometimes the truth hurts. So I hope you guys found that helpful. Quick little tip there.